about Jaffa Cakes. Jaffa Cakes are a cake, right? The court says it was a cake. It's me! Hi everyone! Hey chat! It's our first post-Kickstarter episode of the Failbetter Games podcast. Last time you saw us, we were like, okay everyone, let's go, let's launch. And then we pressed the button and then... and we were funded in 4 hours. Thank you so much! Oh my god. So today we're mostly going to be talking about that, talking about how the Kickstarter is going, questions that you might have about it. We're going to try and stay live a little bit longer than a normal podcast to try and reach 200 concurrent viewers for this stream, which is one of the social goals of the Kickstarter. We have just got so much to talk about. In a minute, I'm going to be joined by Harry Tuffs, who is our incubee, our first incubee, who has been making a game called A House of Many Doors, and it just so happens today is the day he's releasing it on Steam, so we are getting ready to launch with Harry. Just far too many things happening. Hello from Boston, Shinji16, thank you. I think you'll have a bigger than a 300k budget when all's said and done. Maybe we will raise the entire production cost of the game via Kickstarter, beyond our wildest dreams, if we could. Hey, Four, how are you? Miss Vales! Hola, Miss Vales! ¿Cómo está? Our favourite Lolita fan. Brack, yes, I'm feeling better, thank you. During the launch stream, I was just disgustingly ill and dribbling, sneezing, having to take off my mic. But there's one day in 6 months, or one day even in this whole year, when I couldn't miss a day of work. Just so happened to be the day that we launched the Kickstarter that I got ill. Yeah. Hi from Jakarta, where can I get one of those signs behind you? Probably on something stupid like rollerprint.com. Give it a go. This is our mobile lamppost that we like to take everywhere we go. Hello from Denmark. Oh, we're all over the world today. Tom Talom, hello, thank you. So we had some questions in the chat just before we started and before Harry joins me. And we were going to talk a little bit about what it's like to work for a game studio in the UK. Was it Asmodeus Valkyo who had a question about it? I've lost it in the chat now, but basically we wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like to work for a game studio. I think there are a few other people who work from game studios in the chat. Hello, Ukraine, Italy. Wow. The person who drives you to your class is having car problems. Well, more fun for you then. Germany. Tag. I don't have many languages. Hello from Finland. Hello, Finland. Yes, so we were going to talk a bit about Failbetter and the culture of working here. We are kind of atypical. I think we are one of the best studios, possibly indie studios in the world to work for. And I don't think that is too much hyperbole. Our staff are particularly well looked after. We have a no crunch policy. We don't crunch even in the run-up to launch. If you're crunching in the run-up to launch, you need to cut something. Because the returns on crunching come back to you in forms of illness and sadness really quickly as soon as you've finished launching and you realise you have 1 to 3 months of really hardcore support to do and you're exhausted. We work 9:30 till 5:30. We have a day from home every week. We have loads of perks and loads of opportunities for our staff. Generally, we fund people to go to GDC every year. We haven't gone this year because it's during the Kickstarter. But if there's anything else you want to know about how Failbetter works, how we find people, we have an opening at the moment for an artist on our website, failbettergames.com. But we have a policy of really treating people like grown-ups and not expecting people to work overtime on a regular basis, just because it doesn't actually produce that much better work. How big is Failbetter? There are 16 of us. 16. When we launched Sunless Skies on Kickstarter, there were 4 of us. So it's been a bit amazing that we've been able to grow that much so quickly. Crunch does mean mistakes are made. At least in aircraft maintenance. Yeah, you don't want to crunch your aircraft maintenance. Yes, no crunch at all. How are we liking the new office? Very nice, thank you. It's nice. We've moved to Southwark, which is close to Waterloo Station in London. Waterloo is way better connected than where we were before, as lovely as Greenwich was. So yes, we're very happy. We have a nice brick wall to look at. It's all very fancy. You've seen it in the Kickstarter video. Crunch is evil. Yeah. No, it's true. The thing is that other industries don't really have a name for it. That's just how they operate. Whereas games has a name. So if something is named and everyone understands what it means, then you can stop doing it. I used to work in a sort of more commercial advertising environment, and people just worked 10 to 12 hours a day every day, and nobody really had a word to say that this is a bad thing. They all just kept doing it. It was awful. I'm really glad I work in games. Will it count if I ordered a cake from my local bakery? Well, that's efficient. I won't stop you. How many people do we have now? How many viewers do we have, Mac and Haley? Checking. And C#, C++ programmers. We're not hiring programmers at the moment. Thanks, Snuggler. 159 viewers.
So close.
Yes. Southwark is in fact where the bazaar is based, and I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Can I just call you Queroy? You must go north. Nobody should go north. What's the most challenging thing to implement in Sunless Sea or Skies? Oh, I couldn't possibly say for Skies yet. We haven't begun production properly. One of the more challenging things is to implement stories written by a lot of different people, I think. But Chris could maybe speak to more to that. I think he's in the chat. Will early access be on GOG as well as Steam? Yes, it will. But they don't call it early access on GOG. They call it something development. What kind of info will be in the lore book? That would be telling. Back it. The horn. Liam is a director of development. He says the horn is the most challenging thing to put in Sunless Sea. Yeah, it was. He doesn't like the horn. Yeah. Yes, W. Goodspeed is Mac who works for us. He is completely correct. You should follow the Twitch channel. Chris, don't taunt him about the horn. Okay. Somebody wave to Harry and tell him to come in so we can talk for a minute about House of Many Doors. So we're going to have a brief pause on Failbetter and Sunless chat to welcome Harry. Oh, you're off to decide. Bye. What's my necklace? It is a sort of Tron-inspired perspex thing. Oh, that was you, Asmodeus, on Twitter posting about the UI and the journal. Yes, the UI will look different. It won't be as reliant on a single view like the Gazetteer. And the journal will be more functionally useful to you in following your quests. Harry, come in, come sit.
Hello.
Let me put this on your head.
Okay.
Ta-da! Well, you can put it on your own head.
I can just about manage that, I think.
Thank you, Mikator. It is a cool necklace. Somebody posted on the YouTube channel today that my other necklace is cool, so I'm just like collecting compliments about my necklaces. The first time I pressed H accidentally and the horn scared the shit out of me. Sorry about it. So this is Harry. Everybody
Hello.
say hi.
Hello.
Tron Bevan, that's Lottie, who is our producer. Stuff, Disaster Zone. I don't know who that is, but hello, I haven't seen that name before. So lots of our pals are here. Chris is here remotely. Barcelona.
I'm holding the big green button to launch my game.
This is a disguised giant green button.
Yes. It might not look it, but...
Right, I'm going to put my computer down for a minute because I have loads of Sunless Sea questions on there and I don't want to think about them. So this is Harry Tuffs. He is Pixel Trickery.
Hello.
One-man leader of a three-person band.
Well, yeah.
Sort of?
Yeah, sort of. I did coding and writing for House of Many Doors and kind of designed it and kind of was the instigator of the whole game. And I've had the good fortune to work with an amazing musician called Zach Beaver and an amazing artist called Catherine Unger, who are the kind of other 2/3 of the trio.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a game that's shares a lot of DNA with Sunless Sea, and it is benefited from being incubated by Failbetter.
Incubations.
Yeah.
Not of the actual practical side that I'm doing, but today is hatching day, which we're very proud of.
Yes, and it's going to hatch very soon.
Yes, within 8 minutes. 8
Yes.
minutes. So please tell us your questions about House of Many Doors. If you can look at the Steam page, have a goosey at it now, and tell us what you think. I'm really excited to play the final version of House of Many Doors. We first met you almost 18 months plus ago. So Harry's been coming into the office to sit with us and work next to us for 18 months. And we still do accept incubees. We have a new incubee starting actually after Harry's game is finished, although I'm sure that we'll keep seeing you while you're in your "oh Christ help me, it's not actually finished" phase when you're fixing everything afterwards.
Yes, probably.
Space Marine 9 helpfully asks us, how many doors does the house have?
It is right there in the title. There is
many.
There are many doors.
Oh, as Chris adds Space asking the same question. You'll need better material. Damn it, Space.
Does it have realistic door action? It actually doesn't really have realistic door action. There's a lot of doors, and the way that they open isn't very realistic because they kind of have a nice sparkly effect where they kind of, the bolts pass and they slide open, which is not how doors work in real life.
That's how I go through a door, like, what? And then the sparkles come down. How large is the world by comparison to Sunless Skies? World size, or like how much playtime would you get out of a full playthrough, do you think? That kind of... is that about right for?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that you can probably do the main story and get as much from the game as... if you wanted to rush and just like do the main story and toot around and see some things, but not kind of fully explore the game, you could probably finish the whole thing in about 10 to 12 hours. If you really wanted to explore to every single different weird dusty corner and see everything, then I think you're looking at probably 60 to 70 hours of gameplay, especially if you're hiring all the crew, because there's about 30 different crew members and they've each got massive stories of their own. So,
and were some of the crew members backer based?
Yes, there are 3 who are based on some of my backers.
Do you think people will be able to tell which ones it is?
I think there is a way to be able to tell which ones they are, because I've been very cautious about allowing the player to romance them.
We were not cautious. We weren't cautious. Oh boy.
Because I've thought it would be weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
But we just did it. Oh dear.
But you can attempt to start a romance with anyone in your crew. So the ones who are very kind of shy and retiring are going to be the backer characters, whereas the ones who are all for it are going to be...
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think people have no kind of yardstick once a Kickstarter game is finished for how much of the stuff in the game is related to the Kickstarter. Like, you're excited about it if it's yours, but when you play it, when you just get it off Steam or whatever 6 months later...
There's also some backer-designed rooms that I'm wondering if people will notice.
They'll feel different. Because it is possible to kickstart a game and end up putting in a lot of stuff that sticks out like a sore thumb. There are lots of famous examples. My favourite is a competition winner who ended up in a Batman game, who is one of the prisoners in Arkham.
Yeah.
But he is infinitely more scary, even than the scariest baddies in the game, because he's this guy and they only had one photo reference for his face. So it's a 3D model of a guy in a prison jumpsuit who goes up and down and like mumbles, but with this face that is really like... And we would like go back and look at him and be like, "What's your secret? What's wrong with you?" And he was just a guy who won a competition to be in Arkham. Weird. 200 viewers! Toot toot toot! That's another social goal ticked off. I won't update that graphic till Monday. Yes, awesome. Great. So that means we have reached 6 total goals completed. 1 more goal and you unlock a money off at Game Tea for everyone. And another 5, and we will make the avatar generator from Sunless Skies available as a standalone tool/toy for everyone to play with. You'll be able to make your own amazing silhouette cameos. Right, the whole team is coming in. The whole Failbetter team are pouring through the door. Hey, Cash, you've got your coat on. Everybody come in. If you might not be in shot, but... So we're almost ready. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go. Until we launch House of Many Doors.
Yes.
How much does House of Many Doors retail for, Harry Tuffs?
It is retailing for $9.99 in English pounds or $12.99 in your American dollars.
Oh, that's very reasonable.
I thought so.
I could generally tell which Sunless Skies characters were based on photographs. True. Yes, that's the one thing that kind of lights it up, is they have quite modern faces, I think. But not all of the ones who were backers have basis on a photograph, so there'll be more characters that you won't perhaps have spotted. Okay, well, we have 3 minutes to go.
Can we get back to Earth the same way we can sometimes visit the surface from beneath?
Is that for Sunless Skies? Yeah.
Is that for Sunless Skies? Yeah.
Spoilers. Can't tell you that one. Yeah, another one for you, Harry.
China Meeville's an influencer. What books, characters inspired you? Probably everything China Meeville's ever done, probably, in a kind of weird soup. I really like his books. One of my favourite authors. probably most of all, just the whole setting of New Crobuzon and that city has been really important in terms of how I thought about the cities in the game, and also the city in the city, just because I like weird cities, and that's a book about an incredibly weird pair of cities. So both of those I thought were massive influences, and also Railsea. The sea of rails, going around in a train, nice, good mole hunting fun. That's exactly what we want from a...
We have quite a lot of trainy stuff in common now, don't we? 'Cause we started off with boats. Harry was inspired by us to create something that involved kinetopedes, which are trains
on legs.
With legs. And now in Sunless Skies we have also picked up the locomotive baton, because they're just great trains, aren't they?
Get on the train hype train.
Train hype train. Hoo-hoo! That's my train noise. Okay, someone with a name I can't pronounce because of consonants says, as someone who hasn't heard of House Made Doors till today, what's the most important thing I should know before I go buy it in less than 2 minutes?
Well, the most important thing in terms of what I've kind of put on the Steam page for everyone who looks at the game is that you can romance 10 million crows or an oil rig, which I think is a very important and noteworthy part of the game, which everyone should bear in mind.
Yeah, take note, game makers. Those are some romance options.
Yes.
Just Sam here. Yes, hello Sam, former intern of Failbetter. There is a Sam poking, and then there's a Cash and Barry and Liam and Kira and James and Adam and Olivia and someone else whose legs I can see. Oh, nice leggings. Is it Lottie? Yes. Yes. Right. There's 1 minute to go. So when we see it turn to 4, then we will press go, unless anybody has a watch that can do me a better countdown. We don't have any... We don't have any analog watches around. What's the new Twitch viewer milestone? Don't know. It may well be the same again. I don't know. Come back to you on Monday. Cavity Care, yes, we did it. Don't worry, we got the concurrent 200 viewers. It's been done. Yes. Oh my word. 19 seconds, says Alex Skinnyman. Okay, so we're getting ready to launch A House of Many Doors, our incubee Harry's first game that he's made pretty much entirely himself.
Yeah.
He didn't draw the pictures or write the music, but everything else, which is a lot, like all the coding and all the wording and the whole thing.
Lots of wordings, lots of codings.
Okay, not long. Monty Bush, yes, you are just in time. We're about to launch A House of Many Doors. 4 o'clock.
Shall I click the green button? Okay, I'm going to click it.
These are always so confusing because they often put terms and conditions after you press the button. Publish now. Oh my god, you have to type
the phrase.
You have to type, release my app.
Release now.
Release now, oh my god.
It's done, I think. It's loading.
It's loading.
It's loading.
Someone says they are ready to romance an oil rig, so are we.
Well, it's thinking about it.
Oh dear, this is standard. It's good.
Well, the circle is going round in an encouraging direction.
F5,
so
guys, F5. Yes. Can you see it?
Is it
done?
On?
Bars, is it up?
Release the Kraken.
Yeah?
Oh, all publishing tasks have been completed.
Bots!
May take
yes, up for this! We can see it!
Oh my god, what a feeling.
Yes, thank you everyone who's buying it for Harry now. So kind. Wow, we just let off a lot of party poppers. Are you playing the trailer? Yes, let's play the trailer for House of Many Doors. Hooray, congratulations! So you guys, you can go if you want. It's up to you. Hooray! Yes, House of Many Doors is live. Thank you to everybody who just bought it.
Yeah.
And to everyone who's wishlisting it for future times. That is really kind. We are so pleased and proud for Harry. He's worked so hard. He taught himself Game Maker from scratch. We've had to convince him that the value of a day off is good. But please do check it out. Have a look at the Steam link. We'll drop it in the chat in a second if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, so if you have any more questions about House of Many Doors, let us know.
I'm happy to answer anything, you know.
Yeah, any more questions before you make the purchase? Thank you, Ms. Blitz.
Hey.
Well, not just congrats to us, congrats to Harry. It's his game.
But it could not exist without Failbetter, so thank you. Congrats
no
to you
problem. Absolutely wonderful choice that we made 18 months ago. Things seem a lot different now than they were then.
Quite a time ago.
Yeah. I'm having a baby. We've moved office twice. Many things have changed. Okay, for you, Harry, what mechanic / player interaction are you happiest with?
That's an interesting question. Improved most over development, took shape to what you hope for the most. Probably the way that the crew interacts with the player. The crew characters, I think, are really vibrant, and I really enjoyed writing for them. And they don't just exist for the purpose of their own storylines. They also interweave with the other storylines in the game as well, which is something I really enjoy. And because combat involves them running around on the screen, you can kind of form an attachment with them through the mechanics of the game as well. So I think that was probably the thing I was most pleased with about House of Many Doors.
It kind of came together over development.
It did.
Like layers of it.
Yeah, and I was horrendously naive about how much work each crew character would take. I think originally I was going to have about 70.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and I cut about 40, and I think 30 is still too many, and if I could go back in time, I'd halve that. But I've got 30 and I'm pleased with all of them, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Someone says, what advice would you give to a solo dev embarking on a words-heavy Game Maker game?
Don't. I think Game Maker is a really bad platform to use for words-heavy games in particular. It's a great platform for almost all 2D games. I think if you're going to do something really word-heavy, it might actually be a much better idea to go for Unity, because you've got Inkle, which is the scripting language, which is really good for words. Game Maker, stuff like scroll bars. In Unity, you can just drag a scroll bar in and then the scroll bar works. In Game Maker, you have to code a scroll bar from scratch because they assume you're not going to have that much text that you'll need a scroll bar for it.
I literally had no idea that was the case.
Yeah. So I kind of hobbled myself a little bit from the start. But I didn't let that stop me.
No, it's finished. It's on Steam.
It's finished, and there are over 300,000 words in it. So I proved that you can make a word-heavy game in Game Maker if you're determined and stupid enough.
What's your game idea? Are you about to? Did you ask because you're about to make one? You don't have to tell us if you want to keep it confidential. 30, you maniac, says Chris. True. Game of Guardians. Yes, it does look great. I agree. I'm so proud. I've heard good things about. You need to spell out what that link was. It's been taken away. You use Game Maker, yeah. Harry learnt Game Maker from scratch. Before, you're quite obsessed with flukes, aren't you? Making a game about exploring a massive skull. Wow.
Intriguing.
Okay. 300,000 words. Yes, it is an insane amount to write by yourself. Yes, we have millions of words in our games, but there are lots of us.
I also think that's underselling it a bit, to be honest. I think I'm probably closer to 400,000 now.
Yeah.
But I don't have a reliable way of tracking it, so I say 300,000 because that's the most conservative estimate.
It feels honest. But it's difficult to convey the value of the game through the word count. Like, it's something that we say occasionally because the number is just really big, and it gives people just like a very easy sense of value. But what does that actually mean? You might never see... depending on what you choose, you might never see X many. It's a weird one but there are so few good ways to describe good interactive fiction-based games, I think.
When I say it, I want to kind of imply it's this long because there's lots of branching different ways the story can go, rather than it's just one really long storyline. But it's very difficult to get that across just by word count.
Yeah, and people have an idea maybe of what branching narrative is. They struggle perhaps with the idea of what quality-based narrative is, which is what we do. So there's this the weirdness of IF is that you have to kind of foreground the terminology that's in the background in order to explain it, but nobody really understands it very well. Anyway. It's probably 400,000 words, but you say 300,000 because you're British. And British is best. Okay, well, I think maybe I might set you free to go and look at your numbers go up and,
I'm intrigued.
Tweet and sing and dance and go and have a drink and blow your own party popper or whatever it is you do with party poppers.
Yes, I need access to party poppers immediately.
Good.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. It's been great.
Cheers, everybody. We're going to stay on and answer questions about Sunless Skies. Thank you very much. Say bye to Harry. Bye. Is House of Middoors as hard as Sunless Sea? Yeah, probably. I've answered that one for you. But if you want to join the chat on the channel, Harry, you're very welcome. Okay, cool. That was a fun little diversion, wasn't it? Wasn't that good? Who wants to come round? Do you want to come round and hang out, Mac or Hayley? I'm just going to welcome Hayley. Hayley's going to come over and hang out with us. She is the other comms person at Failbetter. So, yes, we are live. We are here. This is our first podcast post the funding of Sunless Skies on Kickstarter. What on earth?
I know.
Neither of us have ever been in a place where the Kickstarter was happening at the time that we were working there. I came here after Sunless Sea had finished. I actually joined, and the first thing I had to do as a comms person was convey that we'd changed combat completely. That was great fun. And you've come from doing lots of smaller things where you didn't really have to do the...
I've helped plan a lot of Kickstarters, but I've never been like with the development team when it goes live. So this is super exciting.
Yeah, well, God, we were flipping out. Okay, Asmodeus, what you're saying. For the new tiers next week, would you need a second pledge account to keep your cartographer name a feature reward? I don't know. That's very Kickstarter technical. You would have to see what it looks like would happen when they go live. I think is the only answer I have for you. I don't have deep technical knowledge of Kickstarter as a platform. How is the avatar generator going? Very well, thank you. We just had a second version of it today with some new chins, and we're going to finesse it, refine it, add some more stuff to it before we put it out. The version that goes out will not be the same as the version that goes into the game, so you won't be able to import stuff in from that version to the game. But it's going to be like fun. It's going to be good larks.
We should show them the worm at some point if it reaches that level.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're trying to come up with how to put faces on something blank, you start. Yeah, the starting point is kind of like a worm. What did it feel like to see the numbers go up at very fast speeds? Really surprising, and then also kind of not surprising. Like it was happening. We were like, "Oh, good," like, "Oh."
But also a bit of like an out of body experience, or like not being actually in reality at that current time.
Yeah, it was very strange because we've been thinking about it for 6 months in terms of communications teamwork, like thinking about it for sort of 6 months, what we're going to do, how it's going to look, and then really refining that for a couple of months. And we've been writing the copy for the page for like a month and a half, really like thinking about every word and every picture. And you think this has to be as good as it's going to get. This has to be as good as we can make it because we're really happy. And then all of a sudden it worked. It's madness. Story Nexus. Is the public version of Story Nexus in a state that you'd recommend people use it over other options? No. Well, we recommend you would use something else at this point. If you're starting from scratch. It's a great tool. It's just really, really hard to use it well, and we are not actively supporting it at the moment. So have a look at Inkle or Twine. Okay, what else? Oh God, I'm breathing like a horse. I'm so excited. I'm still a bit ill. Excuse me. How many different facial features will there be? Ooh, I don't think there'll be dozens, but there'll be more than there are currently. I think in the GIF on the page you can see about 8 different things on the head. There'll be more than that, I think. Yes, over 200 viewers. We have totally smashed it. Can you play Sunless Skies as a rubbery man? I don't think so. You have rubbery sort of options in the avatar generator though, so it's also your imagination. Are you yourself intending to move from Story Nexus eventually? In terms of the games we develop, in terms of we couldn't move Fallen London off Story Nexus, for example, but we might yet try using another platform. Sure. Will Maribeth be making this soundtrack? We are in negotiations and discussions with Maribeth, who is our composer for the soundtracks that you probably know and love from Fallen London and Sunless Sea. So really, really hopeful that it will in fact be Maribeth again. Yes. What else?
Many master dating sims. That's all I see.
If you're from Tumblr, give us like a winky face, because you lot are obsessed with the masters.
Yes, and I go through them every day.
You don't know that Hayley sees absolutely everything you post on Tumblr, including the not so for work stuff. This is what we put ourselves, in front of. Everybody's obsessed with Master Sims. Brilliant. So I have some questions from Twitter. I'm just going to wake my machine up and see if we can answer a few.
Wow, there are many of you. Many of you here. Welcome.
Oh, hey, Tumblr. We see you.
We still have to have it on the scene in case you ever want to.
Oh, yeah. We'll show you some a little bit of special concept art in a bit. Oh, that's exciting. Hootsuite has disconnected itself in a way that I've never seen before. Great. Okay, I'm just going to go back. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up on some questions from Twitter. Yes, a bad and unwise idea and it will not end well, so you have to do it. You do sound like a Fallen London player. Oh, Crude Imposter Nightbright, I see you winking at me. So, yeah, wait till you get home to look at the Fallen London Tumblr tag. Hayley has special permissions.
Nobody asked me why.
Hey, Lala. So, yes, what do you want to know about Sunless Skies? I have some more questions here. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, will there be a reset option if you want to go back to a fresh slate rather than having our captain's influence stay in the world? So we've been talking about how to describe this. You'll be able to choose from 2 game modes, one of which will give you the sort of Invictus option from Sunless Sea, where when you die, but your captain's legacy will continue, so their actions will be persistent in the world. There will be a game mode where you can choose when you die if you accept it or if you want to go back to an autosave. You will also have the opportunity to start multiple save files, which means people in the same household could have each a captain, or you could run 2 different captains. So we haven't come up with a pithy way to say that. I'll tell you what, Hayley, why don't you find some good questions and I'll see if I can answer any of them. And if you can answer them, then you can answer them. But we're all in this column here.
Sounds good. I saw somebody ask if Fallen London's still being worked on.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Fallen London. It just don't stop, Fallen London. We're going into the Feast of the Rose on the 6th, which is Monday. And we're going to keep making improvements and updating Fallen London stories throughout the year. It won't be as much of a like nothing happening as it was when Sunless Sea was being developed, because there are so many more of us now and we're able to keep working on it.
So somebody has asked about the interface. Will it be redesigned as far as journal quest tracking goes?
Yeah, so the journal will be more useful. We've been talking about how this is going to work, and there is going to be more of an idea of when you pick up a quest that the journal will note that for you.
So I know that's very important to our Fallen London fans too, as well as Sunless Sea, so I'm sure everybody wants to know about that.
Yes, yeah, we should put that in an update actually. I will probably put it in an update when I have a picture of how it will look, which we don't have yet. And we have plenty more people sending in their skin correspondence on it. We were like, 100 people will never do this, and 100 people did it, and we've sort of breezed past 100. We're about 115 or something now.
The last time I took count, it was 122, but that was early this morning, so I'm sure there's more than that now.
So you're actually closer to beating 200 correspondents on skin than you think, which is the new goal that we just released in the Kickstarter update from this afternoon. So take the weekend, enjoy. Maybe don't put Sharpie on yourself. Try eyeliner.
Things meant to be on human skin. Generally,
makeup would be
very
fine.
well.
Yeah, we've got people like gouging themselves with biros and sending it in, and we're like, oh, please, don't hurt yourselves. But yeah, so you may well break that one over the weekend as well. Exciting.
Let's see. Will Sunless Skies make some Sunless Sea ending official, like the Dawn Machine supremacy?
No. It is a possible future of the universe. It does not preclude anything else happening. How many people have submitted pictures of the Masters? None, but I'm optimistic.
I think there's many different people scheming to make that happen, because I've seen many conversations, but I don't think we've received any, right?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure both Discords are racing to do it. Tumblr is doing one. I think the forums are going to do a couple. So we'll probably get there, but I haven't had any yet.
Has it been difficult to balance letting players make lasting decisions and leaving content available to legacy characters?
This is from Sir Fred, who's one of our
Yes.
moderators, who has deep questions. Fred, when we've done that, I will tell you how hard it was. My prediction is that it will be quite difficult. Can we elaborate on the correspondent sigil backer reward? Yes, what do you want to know? They're all sold out, though, unfortunately. What else? Is there going to be more lore about Salt and Storm? That is spoilers. Any plans for story Nexus games set in other fallen cities? Not currently. Doesn't mean we never will. Chris says doing the writing will be very hard, says narrative director Chris Gardner. You never finished seeking because you ran out of things to sacrifice. Oh, the monastic life. How many stars will you be able to murder? Oh, just loads. We don't know. Any more from the pipes?
The last one that was in here is, I can't find it anymore in the stream, but it was about like how much we've actually looked into space itself and the sort of scientific areas of that, and how much, is that transferring into the game.
I was talking to Chris about that. Our space is not a very scientific space. It is more fantastical and theological. Let me move this out.
I just
of the way.
clicked something. So good
That's
luck.
okay. It's okay. Nothing's going to explode. Yeah, so it's more of a fantastical, theological sort of art invested space than a very scientific space. So we won't be getting very gnarly about quasars in there. Any thoughts about making an openable captain's log in Skies? Same stuff like in Sea with dates. I don't know what that means. An openable captain's log. Oh, you mean like you expand it and it gives you more information? I think the captain's log itself is going to be deployed in a different way, so it won't be at the bottom and the side, so maybe it will be more towards what you're thinking of.
What's the protocol on doing the Sunless Skies stream for the social rewards? There's not much protocol to it other than just post it somewhere where we can see it, whether that's like a YouTube video or a live stream, and then just at Failbetter, so we know.
Yeah, if you have a VOD or highlights of a live stream, that would be ideal, because we are often not on the same time zone as you. So if you tweet us in the middle of the night saying you're streaming, just tweet us a link to it the next day would be better. Will the Sky Story item in Fallen London have a use soon, since it shares an image with Sunless Skies? It will have a use. Anything that we add to the economy ends up with a use in time, but I couldn't say soon. As a person who works in the space industry, the last thing I want to see is realistic space. What do you do in the space industry? Yeah, exactly. Space is terrifying. We'll be able to attach extra cars to our engine. I don't think so. Good question, though. Oh. One of the things I found most difficult about Sunless Sea was accumulating money to be able to buy ship and parts that you wanted. We're alleviating that in Sunless Skies, in that there will be more trade opportunities. We haven't expanded on this much on the page, but we'll do an update about it. We've created opportunities that are semi-randomly generated, which involve really good opportunities for buying and selling that you receive as you travel around. And it's going to hopefully open things up a little bit in terms of trade. It's actually quite exciting. Oh, 814. Yes. Woo woo, new followers. Thank you. Okay, what else is up? Will we see a lot of discordance on Sunless Skies? I don't know what discordance is. I don't know. It's a bit strange how much I like Submariner and how excited I am for Sunless Skies, considering my two biggest fears are the deep sea and space.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to stop anybody.
In fact, Liam, the lead developer, hates spiders, but when he was animating the Constant Companion, he was constantly terrified of his own screen, and yet he still did it.
Maybe that's why it's like the epitome of terrifying, because he was so afraid of it, he made it his worst nightmare.
Yeah. Will Axial appear in the game? Currently spoiler territory, I think. Any details on the lore book? Will there be lots of pretty pictures? Would we ever give you something with no pictures in it? Words and pictures, guaranteed. That's all I can tell you.
Just the way we roll.
That's all I can tell you. But it'll be beautiful, dainty, exquisite, piquant, exciting, and digital. That's all I can say. Oh, discordance is the opposite of correspondence. Oh, I thought it was like a reference to a separate game. I think I was probably trying to match it with the idea of Dishonored for some reason. I was like, no, we won't put any Dishonored. It's our game. I don't know if there'll be discordance in the game. Do you remember how we came to this place and we sang of their lightnings and shameful disgrace? No, I don't. That's a deep lore cut. You're just sitting next to me like, she's lost it.
She's going into the deep. I assumed there was a point behind it.
Yeah. What else? Which is more important, words or pictures? We've long ago put that debate to bed. It is that they are equal. Chris is in the chat. He may have a different thing to say. Anyway, so what sort of can we see the funding total that we're at the moment? We must be around 185, I think, which is amazing. Since Ace will exist in Sunless Sea, where the sunlight streams down. There is a corresponding place in Sunless Skies, but it is the Avid Horizon. So if you want to experience a little bit of how Sunless Skies comes together and the beginning of that kind of lore area, you'll want to look for the Avid Horizon ending of Sunless Sea. Can you talk about naming neutral vessels for the Voyager pack? Seems like there will be a lot of vessels. Is there a limit? There isn't a limit because neutral vessels will be much more populous in the game. They generate new every time you start playing. So every time a new one spawns, it will grab one from the list of names. So you may well see yourself, or someone else may see you, but it isn't attached to like a specific instance of a ship. It's more generated than that. Wow. Okay, so you went down with Sunless Sea, down with Mariner, you're going up with Sunless Skies, you're going to go upper. I don't know what's above the skies. Chris? Don't know. I think we might go somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Words and pictures are not in competition. They are engaged in constant, perpetual, sweaty congress to create something beautiful that none of them can achieve alone. Amen.
Aww.
Amen. Will there be a thing like the Constant Companion? There will be worse things. Any plans for actions to interconnect the games? No, we used to be able to do that. We've done that between Sunless Sea and Fallen London. But now we are having to make some changes to Sunless Skies and to spend our time doing other sort of self-contained Sunless Sky things, which means that meta qualities like that won't be possible anymore, I'm afraid. It's a bummer. I know people love them, but we had to make some sacrifices to make sure the game would be as good as it could be, and that's the most important thing. More generally, will there be Sunless Sea content updates ever? Stay tuned on the campaign. Maybe.
I've got the Kickstarter page ready to fill up for
Oh, cool. So let's just check and see how the Kickstarter is coming along.
the remarks are still live. I'm just bringing it up now. The total is 186k.
Woo!
186,696.
£186,696.
And more importantly, backers, 5,169 people.
Wow.
Wow, 5,169 backers as well. That's amazing.
I feel like I'm going to have some art to update on Monday.
So yeah, in terms of words and pictures, I'm looking after the words for the Kickstarter page, and Hayley makes all the pictures. Paul draws the pictures, but Hayley makes them.
Frames the pictures.
Like,
I don't
makes
know.
them. So yeah,
Binds them.
every morning we come in and go, what have they done? What have they done? And try and update it. Yes. So that was pretty bloody excited, isn't it? Space spiders. Yeah, the things in space will probably be worse than spiders.
Imagine spiders that don't need oxygen.
Yeah. Anything that can survive in space, yeah. Not good. And so let's see, we're a boat. A flat plane in the Z-axis. I I shan't be told to explain myself. But basically, we're using a lot of parallax and multiple layers in the game to show depth and have terrible lurking things in the background. I think we wanted to keep the same kind of perspective because of the sequelness. But yeah, so it will have a lot more depth and it will look a lot more like things can come at you.
Just what you want.
Masters dating sim questions are banned. No. If you want to dress as Mr. Eaton for the master photo, I mean, don't put yourself in any danger. But if you want to, yeah, 11 masters minimum. I'm not going to be prescriptive about which ones. You can be Sax as well if you really want to. What will be the fantastic tag for Sunless Skies? Murderous Sun is quite good, isn't it? I mean, if you don't think so, perhaps we need a new one. People haven't remembered Murderous Sun from the...
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Chris agrees with us. Murderous Sun. Oh, mercy. So, let's talk about the Feast of the Rose a bit.
Sure.
Should we say a little bit about what people can expect, given it's coming out on Monday?
Yeah.
I think it might be cool. So what is different this year, Hayley? Can you remember?
Am I allowed to elaborate? How fully am I allowed to
yeah,
elaborate?
let's do it. We're making an announcement about the feast on Monday, but
we'll give you
we can give you a little taste now.
Yeah, so it's pretty similar to years past, but we've added a few new things. So you may find a few new companions that you can get. And also, we're happy to announce that you can marry again. Yeah. I almost said you can marriage again, and then I was like, that doesn't make sense in English. So you can marry and divorce. Hooray! Yeah, I feel like that could be a terrible way to be trapped in a divorce that you can't end, so we're glad to add that back in.
Yes, it came, and then we had to take it out because of reasons, and now it's back.
And you can now take your lovely spouse on a date, which I think is very exciting.
Yes!
And you can do that year round, so it's not just during the festival.
You heard that here first. Married dates.
Treat your spouse nicely.
Yeah, look.
I enjoy all the exclamation points.
Yes, it's so exciting. So those of you who haven't played the Feast of the Rose before, I'm sure the rest of the community in the chat will help you out in terms of explaining how it all works. I don't think tattoos have changed this year.
I don't think so either.
I think if you have a no-man, you're able to get another no-man tattoo.
Yeah, like if you had played last year, you can
continue to collect those, but I don't think... Oh, everyone loves the once dashing smuggler, I know. Yes, well, marriage is back, yes. It's so cool to see all the Fallen London freaks come out.
Yes.
Like, we're talking about like some Steam game, I don't know, and then all the people are like, well, Fallen London, as soon as it comes up. Yeah, so we're going to do an explanatory menu thing that explains everything for new players, but if you're a new player, the best thing to do is to talk to an old player, because they know it all.
Well, there's a very handy guide about Feast of the Rose already on the forum.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So if you can direct any new players to that, I think that describes it pretty well.
Yeah.
But the little visual we're creating hopefully will just help at a glance so you know what you can do in the festival.
Marriage is back, Omega 8520, and it is a little changed, I think.
Yeah.
We had to change the way it worked for technical reasons, which means that the new stuff works a bit differently, and it's probably a bit better, I think. I think Cash is quite proud of it. Cash has been working on it.
There's definitely been a lot of testing going on to make sure that everything is...
It all works, yeah. Nightbright, yes, divorce is back. Oh, thanks, Raiden Zal. Bless you for dropping in. Yeah, so, right, it's 4:30. We've achieved our goal. This is amazing. We had 200 concurrent viewers. That's everything that we could hope for. There will be an additional Twitch viewing goal that will join the page on Monday. So that means that there are, I think, 13 goals that you can be working on, 4 of which have been... my brains are turning to soup, guys. I need this weekend. 4 of which have been completed, which means we are... No, 5 now.
Yep,
so we are
5.
2 away from unlocking the Game 2 voucher. We are 7 away from unlocking the avatar generator for everyone to use as a standalone tool. I can't answer further questions about marriage because we've just updated it. We'll tell you, ask us next week. There's a line of the persona. The notes speak. That's very, very deep lore. I can't talk about deep lore. Stretch goals include exclusive and Fall in London and Sunless Sea items for backers. Not stretch goals, social goals, potentially. Come back. I've run out of ways to be cryptic. When is the next cast? I think we're going to try and get another podcast in next Friday, same time. We will try and vary that during the campaign so people have a chance to turn up if they're not on the same time zone or a comparable time zone to us. But we'll have to pick a day when we can be in later or earlier to try and make that happen. Can we get the Sunless t-shirt on Game Tea or only via the Kickstarter? It is exclusive to the Kickstarter, but that doesn't mean that we won't work with Game Tea again in the future on a different design. Because they're amazing!
So good.
How good is that shirt?
And the quality is so nice.
And it's so pretty. When the designs came through, the whole office was like... okay. Yeah, we're going to have to put a lid on my excitement. Because I have to go and cough and sneeze and dribble 5 times. Thank you all again for coming to our podcast, for launching Harry's game with us, for asking us questions about this crazy old Kickstarter that we're doing. Thank you for backing us. Thank you for your faith. It is amazing. You are amazing. We are going to keep updating you. We're going to have new backer tiers next week, new stretch goals. We are so ready to go the distance with you guys and to get the entire production budget of Sunless Skies funded via Kickstarter. That is our next goal. You can help us get there. Tell your friends. Tell your aunt.
Shout in the street.
Shout.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Write correspondence on all of your exposed skin and go to the hospital. So thank you very much for spending time with us this afternoon. We have been Failbetter Games. One of you has been poisoned.